Welcome back to another 2021 Player Outlook presented by RotoHeat.com. This time we're talking Chris Herndon, tight end, Minnesota Vikings. And thank you guys as always for hanging out with us. We would love it if you hit that like, the subscribe, the notification icon, stay up to date with everything we got going on. That being said, let's get to it. All right, with the Irv Smith injury, even up to this recording, I was scouring the interwebs trying to figure out what's going on with Smith. The team doesn't exactly have a good timetable on the return. There was a couple of articles about questions that Zimmer was taking that he did not think it was a serious surgical procedure that was going to happen to that meniscus in the knee. So that kind of takes 6 to 8 months off the table, but we still think it's a significant amount of time. So he could be sidelined for a while. So Chris Herndon could be a very big beneficiary from this because it's either that or Tyler Conklin. That being said, we think Chris Herndon will finish somewhere between tight end 22 and 29. And of the 8 guys that looked into him, 2 are holding and the rest are selling. Obviously, you can tell that our opinion is to sell, and move on. That being said, let's keep going. We do think a very similar ADP for Herndon will be the case next year as opposed to this year. Because remember, even if he is out 6 to 8 months, Irv Smith's come back, a young guy, promising young talent that the team really liked and invested in. He's going to get his spot back when he comes back. We do think Herndon gives you spot starter potential, though, in the 2021 season. So if you're a guy who needs a tight end, and not only in a tight end premium situation, but just in need of tight end help, this could be a guy you could target for a reasonable price. If you're looking for ADP, obviously everybody's still working on updating their ADP, but the last ADP that we had for a redraft from our friends from like Fantasy Pros, he was sitting at tight end 41 or 360 overall. So obviously before the trade news, he was waiver wire at best. From a dynasty perspective, we had him at tight end 28 or 210 overall over on RotoHeat.com. And, and he's a guy that is super young and talented. He was a 4th round pick, I believe, out of Miami when he came out. And it just never materialized. If he could get back to the rookie Chris Herndon version, the 12.9 yards reception and like 500 plus yards, and and really start to build on that version of himself, there's some big potential in this offense. Got to remember, Minnesota, though they have lots of weapons on the outside, they still have, somewhere in the 70 to 100 targets for their tight end. And it's not Tyler Conklin, so Herndon is going to get the lion's share. I could easily project him, at least where the roster stands today, to get, 60 to 80 targets easily from the tight end position. And if he's catching, 70% of those, 65 to 70% of those like he could, that's a fairly productive tight end number for a value at price. I'm sure you're not having to spend a lot on him. Let me know in the comments below, do you think he's a tight end 1 with this news, with the Irv Smith injury, or do you think he's not? Let's keep the conversation going below. That being said, the guys on the team basically all said, if you can find somebody that's going to buy him, sell him. That's really what it came down to. Rick, I love Rick's comments. How many times can a tight end get hyped before managers stop falling for it? And that's what we run into. Herndon's had 3 seasons of hype without, a real return on that. I mean, even in his rookie season in 2018, he only had 39 receptions for 502 yards and 4 touchdowns. I mean, it's not like it was an elite productive season as a rookie. It definitely showed that he could do it, but it wasn't an insane production. What I will say, though, is for those of you that are out there that worry about injury, which I am one of those myself, when I looked into and dug into Herndon, yes, he missed time in 2018, and I don't want to say significant time. Really 2019 was the only year where you didn't have him. Even last year, I mean, he still was involved in a significant amount of action in a really rough offense. So don't worry about the injury stuff. More so worry about the fact that now he's going to be with Irv Smith for however long they are on this team together. And what does that do when they really only have 70 to 100 targets for the tight end position potentially? And after this season, who knows what happens to this Minnesota's offense. So, those are things to take into account if you're a dynasty owner. As a redraft guy or somebody who's competing for this year and you need that help, this guy's a guy that you could target, and you shouldn't have to pay a premium for him. Let us know in the comments below. We thank you guys. We'll see you later.